What's up, Hornets? Mark here, and we are working on the Bell Beast, which is the second boss fight. It's a lot of fun, but before we begin, I want to make sure you are aware that you need the Silk Spear ability, which can be found in Bone Bottom. And once you get that ability, you will be able to unlock this boss fight. Now, let's begin. So, the Bell Beast, there's a lot of repetition here, but what you want to be aware of is this dust that's sort of shifting. When you hear a scream like this, that means the beast is going to jump. So what we're going to do is we're going to strike the belly of the beast in the air, and then when it lands, we're going to get in one more hit. So just strike the rear as soon as it lands. And when the beast doesn't scream, then that means it's going to charge forward. So listen for that scream. That makes it a lot easier. But notice here, no scream. And that means that we're going to jump over, and then we're going to do a downward strike attack. The downward strike attack is jumping over, pressing down, and the attack button. But you have to be facing the way that you want to arc towards. So if you're going to shoot down to the left, you got to make sure you're facing to the left. It can be a little tricky, but just work on it. I'm sure you'll get it. It took me a little while to sort of get that down. But what we're going to do in the first phase is we're just going to pay attention, listen for that scream. And then once the bells pop up out of the air, you're going to head to the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on those bells, and we're going to jump over them. Now, I'm leaving in all my mistakes because I'm going to show you that you can still beat this boss even if you're taking damage. Keep an eye on your health. You want to heal yourself by pressing and holding that circle button. You do get... Your silk will build up, your silk meter, that's what you use to heal yourself. That will build up when you land attacks and when you get hit. So it should fill up pretty quickly. But yeah, keep an eye on your health because that's pretty important. So like I said, listen for that scream, strike the belly, try to land one hit. You can sometimes get two, but I tend to be more on the conservative side when it comes to these attacks because, the Bell Beast does a lot of damage. So just try and take one hit there, maybe two hits here. Don't get too greedy like me. And the fight will be over probably pretty quickly. Now, keep an eye on these bells. Watch for the dust. Keep an eye on your health. And just keep moving around and taking your strikes. Now, when you see the dust on the ground all across the ground, look for the light shafts up top. That is where these bells are going to drop. So try and go in between the light shafts and then try to look for these bells that are dropping. You kind of want to be ready to either run under them or jump over them. Just like that. And the bells will sometimes just randomly drop from the ceiling too. So it's a little tricky. There's a lot going on. You're spinning a lot of plates. But once you find the rhythm to this fight, you'll sort of lock in, take your hits when you can, avoid the bells. It can definitely be pretty tricky. But the biggest tell is looking for the dust on the ground like that. Like I said, if you get hit, don't get discouraged. If you have to do this fight a bunch of times, don't get discouraged. Especially if you're new to the series, these fights are difficult, and the difficulty ramps up pretty quickly too. Now you can see I'm just sort of focusing on one strike here, one strike there, maybe two strikes if I can. Practicing and getting better at that downward strike and avoiding bells. You can see my health is pretty low, but my silk meter is pretty high. The Bell Beast tends to do like 2 points of damage with its hits, so that's why I haven't really quite healed yet, because healing you get 4. Now, when you beat the beast, we're not quite done yet here. There's a platforming section. You got to hit these gears to go to the top. You will obtain a silk heart. But once you get the silk heart, now you are offered the option to fast travel. I recommend you head to the right to unlock a bench and explore a little bit over there before you travel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, folks. That does help me out quite a bit. Thanks for checking out my video.
I.Eat.Games, yeah.